Welcome back to the Dino Vidala Show. And look who's here. It is Hend Ayoub, award-winning actress, now the writer and star of a new autobiographical one-person show titled Home, a Palestinian woman's pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. It's being produced by San Francisco Playhouse, running through August 16th in San Francisco at a space called Z Space in the Mission District. It comes to New York City September 12th through October 11th, but it's open right now. You can check it out, and I'll be out there next week. Hen, good to see you.
Great to see you, Dean.
So, Hendy, you've been in previews already. How have previews been going? What's it been like?
It's been great. It's been fun. You know, we're still working on things and fixing and still teching. So after this interview, I'm going to work some more and rehearse. But the people are really enjoying it. And we're getting some feedback because the San Francisco Playhouse, send out, if you want to tell us what you think. And people are really excited about this show. They said they're going to tell everyone about it, and they learned so much, so many things they didn't know. And it's moving and funny, which is something that is surprising for a lot of people. When they hear Palestinian story, they're not expecting it to have humor and a lot of fun.
And that's a great point. So let's talk about the show. It's about you being born and raised as a Palestinian in Israel. And the title is Home with a question mark. Why the question mark?
I think the question mark is a big part of it. Because home without a question mark just wouldn't work. It's not the show. You know what because the show really asks, where do you belong when you belong nowhere? Like, where is home when you're caught in between worlds and not wanted anywhere in this world? And being a Palestinian Israeli, it's such a, unique experience and situation where you're not here or there. Like, on paper, it's supposed to be my home. I was born there. I speak the language. Hebrew is my second language, but I speak it very fluently. I went to school there. My family is from there. My ancestors were all born there, but that's all on paper because, technically it's home, but when you experience every day, you're reminded constantly, every day, that you're not fully accepted, that you're not part of them, and they don't really want you there. So, can you ever feel at home in a place that doesn't want you?
Well,
that's
the
question mark.
Right, and I understand that. And in your play, you share an expression in Hebrew that was chanted against Arabs when you were growing up, and literally to just last week we saw incidences that we covered on the show with Diane Buto about the chant against Arabs by the right-wing Israeli Jews. What is that chant in Hebrew? And then you can translate it for us and explain.
So the chant is Mavet la'aravim. Mavet meaning death. La is to. Aravim is Arabs, which is me. So death to me and my family. This is something that being chanted every time something happens, every time they don't like someone, they gather and chant it. And it's really part of the soundtrack of our lives. I heard it for the first time when I was, I think, 6. Every event, every war, and Israel has a lot of wars with the surrounding Arab countries or the Palestinians. So you get to hear it a lot. And just recently, they asked me, can you show us some links to Mavet La'aravim? And you don't even have to look. There's so many of them. Recently, Ayman Audi, who's a Knesset member, he was a mob of people were surrounding his car chanting death to Arabs. That was just last week, and they broke his window. So yeah, it's sad. It's scary for kids to hear that and wonder, why are they saying that about us? Why do they want us dead? And that's in the play.
It is in the play. And I'm saying with Hend Ayoub about her new show, Home, a Palestinian woman's pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. Yeah, that is a part of the show, and it's important for people because in America, I don't think people know about the experience of the Palestinian grown but who was raised and born in Israel and navigating that life. Have you found that to be true, that it is surprising to people to hear the story?
I think it's very surprising because a lot of people don't know we exist. So most of the Americans I've met, and I would say all of them really, they know about the Palestinians just to hear about us in the news. So they're thinking, oh, Gaza, West Bank. Yeah, I know something about this conflict.
Right.
But 20% of Israel are Arab Israelis or Palestinian Israelis, or the Arabs of the inside, or the Arabs of 48. We have so many names, and yet here nobody knows anything about us. So yeah, I think it's very, I wouldn't say educational, but you leave like knowing so much
Mhm.
from this show. It's like a whole different experience and perspective that normally people don't know anything about. And it shows in the feedback that people are writing.
And you were born and raised in Haifa. Haifa is one of the rare cities that has its coexistence, where Jews and Muslims and Christians live together in the same apartment building. What was that like? And how unique is that in Israel? The society more isolated, and where Arabs and live in one area and the Jews live in the other areas.
So it is unique, but there are other mixed cities.
Mm-hmm.
But Haifa is known to be Arabs and Jews living. It's the coexistence city, right? I think it's beautiful. I think that's where all the cities and towns should be like.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but also, like, I grew up, my best friend was the rabbi's daughter. Like, everyone in the building was Jewish. And I grew up like as kids. That's the beauty of it. As children, we don't really know anything about Arab or Jew, right? When you're a child, you just, oh, you know what? I like Hend. Let's play together. It's all what it's about. And I wish we stay that way. Um, but it is changing. And sadly, recently, after like October 7th, the there's always tension, right? Every time there's any war
Mm-hmm.
in Israel, it affects us. They look at us like we are uncomfortable. And then, you're like the other, the enemy, you're the Arab. But October 7th, actually, I talk to people and they're not comfortable being Arab or speaking their language like out loud. They have to whisper it. People look at them differently. And it shows actually in polls that a lot of Israelis want us out. And
Mm-hmm.
it's something sad to see because I love Haifa and I really believe in coexistence. And I really believe that we should all live together and be equal. And, you know, yeah. So I think Haifa is, if anything would change and there would be a solution, it would start with something like Haifa. That would be the hope.
I saw recent polls, nearly 60% of Jewish Israelis want the Arab Christians and Arab Muslims out of the country. What is that like to be raised in a country that is your home? You're born there, you're an Israeli citizen, but you're Palestinian ethnically, that it's very clear that a majority want you and your family gone.
It sucks, Dean. It sucks and it breaks my heart because, I love where I'm from. I love my family. My whole family is still there. And it just breaks my heart. Like, this is not fair and this is not the way it should be. Um, and I don't know, I don't have a lot of vocabulary to express how I feel. I mean, English is my third language, so I find like trouble finding the right words that I'm feeling, but it's not a fun experience, let's say that. You go out and they look at you differently. And when you speak out Arabic, and I had a lot of experiences, I've left like years ago, but every war, for some reason, I'm there.
Right.
Like a few Lebanons ago, I was in a cab, like I was in a Sesame Street production, and I was in a cab and the radio was on, and you hear it's like a shuttle cab, like when you're sharing the van with other people, and they're all like, those fucking Arabs, we just throw them in the sea. And we hate them and shit like that. And you're like, oops. And my dad calls and I pick up, and what do I speak? Hebrew. Because it's so awkward and uncomfortable and scary, sadly.
In the US media a lot, they'll say, oh, look, the Arab Israelis have equal rights, and see people, Arab Israelis like yourself, they're treated better than Arabs all over the Arab region. They have more opportunity. In reality, in Israel, do Christians and Muslims have the same right as Jewish Israelis?
On paper, yes, we have the same rights. We vote, we're in the Knesset. In real life, there is discrimination that is done in such a smart way that you can't catch it and say, oh, you did this, this, and that. Like everything is subtle. For example, like in my in my life, I wanted to be a waitress for some reason. All my life, like since I was 16, I was counting the days to finish high school. It was ridiculous to other people, but to me, I really wanted to do
Right.
that. And all the ads, it says "Achrei tzava," after military service. What's the connection, like between holding a rifle and serving food? And you go there and you figure out when they say no to you that, oh, they just don't want Arabs there. And in fact, like I went even like I was like, this can't be right. There must be another reason. So I go to a cousin of a cousin who works in the kitchen of this cafe that I wanted to work in. And he said, yeah, I talked to I tried to get you a job, but they said that I can only we can only work in the kitchen, not in the front of the house. So he'll be, if you want to be a dishwasher, like, okay. So it was clear then that it wasn't my imagination. So things like that you can't really, everything is subtle. Um,
And just so people understand, when you say after military service, it's because the Arab population generally does not serve in the military, only the Jewish
exactly.
Israelis. So they'll say
Yeah.
after military service, knowing that means Arab Christians and Muslims don't
Not
serve and they'll be discriminated against for jobs.
right. No Arabs allowed. I'll give you another example. Like, again, it's something that you can't like sue because my brother was being interviewed for this great job, and he was going interview after interview in this big
Mhm.
company. And
Mhm.
finally, he reached the final interview where, like, this is it, he's getting the job. And the guy was very, like, it was a great conversation. And, my brother doesn't have an accent, an Arab accent. So at the end, he said, oh, by the way, where did you serve? Like in which division? And this is something that Israelis normally, ask. And he said, well, I didn't serve. And he's like, what do you mean? Why? He's like, well, I'm Arab. And he looked at him and he said, oh, so now you thought of bringing this up? And he said, well, I didn't know it would matter. And he said, Tishma. And he like, look, like, listen. And he didn't get the job. Just like that. Yeah.
Well, it's a challenging nation, clearly, in the society there. I'm talking with Hend Ayoub about her new show, Home, a Palestinian woman's pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness, playing right now in San Francisco through August 16th, produced by San Francisco Playhouse and playing at Z Space. And then it comes to New York. So, this story, your one person show, which I've seen, obviously, it's a collection of stories from your life. Why was it important for you to put this together, write this, perform it, and share it with Americans?
I think it was like many things that came together. I was like revisiting my life and looking back at all the things that got me to where I am right now, how I ended up here.
Mhm.
And so it starts with my childhood, with the rabbi's daughter, into all the stuff that got me to Egypt and then to America. And also talking about my family and my beloved mom. I mean, she's a big part of the show,
Mhm.
and it's such a gift and an honor to play her character. and have her with me on stage. Like I brought her back to life. And like I'm so, I don't know. I think it's amazing. I think anyone who lost a parent that they love would know what I mean. So it was part of that. I wanted to share that. I also wanted to share with the, the audience about our experience, like we said, that they don't know anything about us and that we exist. So that was a nice way to do that, like with humor and entertainment.
Right.
And so I honestly got so tired of the way the industry portrays us. Like we're this flat thing. Like what do we get? Like Arab women are always like the auditions that I get, the wife of a terrorist, not even the terrorist itself, but like really we're all terrorists and wives of terrorists that have one line and we're crying as they take away our husband. And come on, Hollywood. Can you see us as the full human beings that we are? So that's a way for me to if you don't want to see us, at least I want to celebrate us and be the full human beings that we are and be my beautiful mother that was such an amazing woman. I want to share that with the world and everyone and see, my family. And yeah, I want you to see us as human beings. And at the end of the show, I'm hoping that you'll learn, but you also feel like maybe you have a Palestinian friend now because you grew up with me and saw my whole family and experienced everything I did. And yeah, so it was all of the above.
I know that you playing the wife of a terrorist was upsetting, but you being sent out to play the mother of a terrorist was more upsetting, and was very upset when that happened because the mother of a terrorist, this is ridiculous.
In the play, yeah, it gets a big laugh.
I think it's very funny. So your director, Carrie Perloff, very well-known director. She's been directing for years. Well, very well-known in San Francisco area, but also nationally. She's directed Broadway, off-Broadway, all over the nation, and she directed you at arena stages. She's Jewish. What's it been like for her? And has she said to you she's learned things about the Arab experience within Israel and Israel society itself?
Well, first of all, Carrie Perloff is an amazing director. I've worked with her at Arena Stage with 1,000 Splendid Suns. That's how I met her. It's been such a great experience. And she's been with the show, working on it with me for a while. And yes, even Carrie, who knows so much about everything, she's she's very smart. And but there are some things that she didn't know, and especially how Arab countries see us. That's something that she didn't know, and most people are surprised that we're not wanted there either. We're really not wanted anywhere. We're in this weird place in between. Lo po velo sham in Hebrew. It's like not here nor there. Yeah.
And have Arabs said to you, people of Arab heritage in America, that they've learned about the Arab-Israeli experience, that they didn't know much about it either?
Absolutely. And that was the most surprising thing. I did a reading with Noor Theater. It was part of developing the show, I think last year. And Gaza was happening, and there were Palestinians there. And someone said, and everybody nodded after that. She said, I was sitting there thinking, okay, so she's from Haifa and Purim party and I don't know what, and people are dying in Gaza. Like, why are we seeing this? And then we get to the Arab country, and she said, that's when I was shocked. And that's why I realized, oh, this is a completely different perspective that I had no idea about. And I started seeing the show in that way. And I'm like, wow. And she really, really loved it. So and then people nodding and coming to me later, Arabs, Lebanese, and like not knowing anything about that. They were, yeah.
And that's great. And people want to learn. I find in general, people are very happy. Last thing, for people who are American, they're not Arab, they're not Jewish, they're like, if I go see this show, I can enjoy it. Is it really for me? What would you say to them?
I think, yes, you're going to really enjoy it because it's a fun show and I'm a little bit ridiculous in it. So it is a true story. So everything you see actually happened. There's Hebrew and Arabic in it. So if you're Jewish or Arab, you're going to pick up some things and enjoy listening to your language. And also it's fun. It has a lot of humor and it's very surprising that way to most people who come thinking, oh, they're going to see just another Palestinian story and, about struggle and military and I don't know what. It's a completely different perspective. Come and see it, and I hope you really come and enjoy the show.
And I will say this, if people email me, dean@deanofradio.com, that's DEAN at deanofradio.com. If you're the San Fran area, I will send you a code for a nice discount. So you can see the shows. Again, it's running now through August 16th. Opening night is Saturday, but it's running in previews now at Z Space in the Mission District. It's called Home, a Palestinian woman's pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. And if people want to go to the website, it's sfplayhouse.org, or just Google Hend Ayoub, SF Playhouse, but email me. I'll get you a discount. Any last thing you want to share with people, Hend, before we wrap it up here
Yeah,
about the show?
just that it's not a lecture. You're not coming to be educated. You're just coming to see and hear a human, personal, deeply personal story. That's what it is. It's a story, and I hope you enjoy it, and I think you will.
I believe people will, because I've seen it myself, and I'm going to be there doing a talk back next Thursday, August 7th. So if you're in the San Fran area, I hope you come out to the August 7th show specifically and say hello
Yeah,
to me. And I'll be
and
chatting with the audience after the show, like answering questions from Hend after the show.
yeah, I also wanted to say that we had a workshop production in DC, and that got reviewed and got great reviews, including the Washington Post. So you're not coming to see like, something that hasn't been like you're not sure. So even the workshop production got great reviews. So yeah.
Check it out. Home
Check it
now
out.
through August 16th. And then it comes to New York City, September 12th through October 11th. And maybe we'll have Hend on with Carrie Perloff, your director, as we get closer to the New York premiere to have Carrie talk about the show as well. Well, thanks, Hend. It was great seeing you.
Thank you.
And I'll talk to you soon.
Yes.